Hello, and you join us live. We are 4 minutes into, well, 3 minutes into the qualifying session for Catalonia. This is ASSETTO CORSA. This is Ocean Chief on the mic. We're looking forward to the second race of season 1 for 2SRL, and we're seeing times going on to the leaderboard right now. The one to beat is Incognita, but we've got Clara in second, 0.3 behind Thimo, 0.4 behind Thimo now in the pit. Satoshi fourth, Silver fifth. We've got 13 cars currently in session, so we should see a lot of times being added to that board in the next 12 minutes or so. If we see Clara just struggling there in sector 3 after the hairpin. This long, slow right-hander. And into this very... Oh, there's a fastest lap from Hugo. Beating Terra Incognito by 0.04 seconds. Slimmest of margins there, so there's not much in it between the top two guys, but we do have 11.5 minutes left, so plenty of time to go yet. And what it sees. Excuse me. Ready? So we got no new times on the board, but we are seeing Terra is still on the track, slowing down here in sector 3. He's trying to get a bit of a gap for his next hot lap run. And this last final corner is crucial. Get that high end speed to head onto the start finish straight. Incognito running in second, but now on a hot lap. Let's see what he can do. He can bring up the delta, that'd be great. If the delta's actually working right now. Maybe not. Maybe for another day. A lot of the drivers, we know they've been practicing hard all week for this race. I'm just going to share out some links so we can get some guys to watch the stream. There we go, that's it then. So Hugo remaining with, oh, as I say that, Thimo going fastest with a 1:18.205, so that's quite considerably faster, almost a quarter of a second up on Hugo. So the fastest guys at the moment are Thimo and Terror. If we ride on board with him, he's a 1:18 flat. So the pole position is not decided just yet. We're seeing some guys struggling a little bit. There's Gloomy into the runoff area in the gravel. Let's ride on board with Kirst in the Ferrari. Some nice shots here as he enters into the long right, fast right hander. The long right, fast right, left, fast hander. I should just mention I've just finished a league race in which I came 11th, and just trying to gather my thoughts after that. It was quite the race. Conditions in Spa, but it's dry in Spain today. The rain in Spain is not going to be here today as Kirst gets it all wrong on the exit and pays the price. And you can see here that the DRS is open and is available to the drivers for all of the track. Kirst decides to try to exit the map. Not today, Kirst, not today. Let me see this. I was gonna say this Bants. That Bants. This or that Bants. I think this is that Bants. That Bants is currently 0.8 off pole, but it looks like he's on a hot lap here. Let's see if we can ride on board with him. 7.5 minutes remaining. Bringing tight for now. Goes right down to this hairpin and then into sector 3. We'll ride the curve a little bit here. Sweep it into the right hand side to try and carry as much momentum as possible, not lose the back end. You can see tiptoeing around the track. I reckon this is setting up for a hot lap. Yes, he puts the pedal to the metal as he goes onto the start finish straight. Crosses the line. See what Bants has in the tank. Carrying a lot of speed for turn 1 and turn 2, and into the long right-hander with his turn 3. Such a flowing track, but very technical in parts. And the car just getting out of the way, Bants, thankfully, but looks like Bants just got a little bit wide on turn 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe. And after this fast chicane, let's just see how he does. Too easy to lose a car there, and he does so. Car just wants to spin out at all points there, and it's not able to make the red hot lap. He's looking clean and fast after there, but not today. Let's see who else is on the track. We'll get TipsyBob. He is currently in 12th position with a very slow lap. It's not telling me the actual time that he set there. Let's see. Oh, he's at 1:55 in the bank, which is way off the pace. Let's see what he's got today. Tipsy as he gets it onto the curb and pays the price. The back end just wants to go one way, and you want the car to go the other, and that time the car won. So unable to get a hot lap in just yet is TipsyBob, and Cursed is in the wall. What is going on with Cursed today? He had a pretty decent race in SLR tonight. Maybe he is no more fuel in the tank. Shout out to the guys in chat. Hey, Kitsune, Rubo, Wimpy, who you got for the race win today? Terror is looking good, but we saw last week that Thimo was keeping him honest for most of the race. 1-2 from Terror and Thimo. But Hugo, he's showing some pace here. He's only 0.5 off the time, and there's Clara with a 1:18.832, almost a second off the pace, and Bants is now back out on track. Let's see if he can keep it together for a lap. Better his time of 1:18.868, which is good enough right now for 5th. Back on board with Bants. Got past the scene of the crown last time. Actually, let me get my bearings here. Yes, he is into sector 3. Keeping it tidy for now. Great technical twisty part of the track here, sector 3. And the final chicane. Crucial to get this run onto the start finish grid. And he crosses the line. Not able to better his time. And it looks like he's given up on this lap for now. So what else we got out here? We got Gloomy. He didn't take part in the race last time out. Currently in 8th position with a lap time 1.865 off Terror, and somewhere along the lines there Terror is set at 117, so the first driver to get in the 117s is Terror Incognito, obviously the favourite for the win this time out, and Hugo is still out on track. Who else we got? We got Danny in the pits, Satoshi. Oh, look like they get a bit of a tank slapper on. He's went straight through the DRS board there. Had to back out of this one. And we got Triton, who comes fresh from the SLR race and was the race winner. Big congrats to him. We're seeing some weird graphical glitches here. There might be some issue with lag, but yeah, Triton. This car scooting all over the track. TipsyBob remains in the last position. We've actually got 12 drivers starting the race today. And big up Wimpy in chat. He got his first SLR points today with a 9th finish in Spa. Good stuff from him. And looks like TipsyBob has put a lap in. He's went 9 faster for World 1, 19.623. Not too bad, not too bad. From the Irishman there. In the Renault, no doubt. And stops right on track, but he's back in the pits for now. Let's see who else is on a hot lap. Looks like Triton is on a hot lap. The car up ahead just off track, but hopefully doesn't impede Triton right now. Give way there in the middle of that chicane. Trying able to navigate it without much ado. Back into sector 3 here. Move the car right down to the hairpin. Around a little bit of the curve, trying not to get too out of shape. Heading this long right-hander. And he just had to correct the car just midway through the corner. It's going to cost him a lot of time here, but he's trying to beat his previous best of 120.035 as he got enough in the tank. And he crosses the finish line. Unable to better his time for now, so he is struggling out there. Is Triton. And there's that Bants. That Bants gets up into 4th to jump Flora. Reports my mic is a little bit quiet, so I'm gonna just give that a bit of a boost. Keep the in-game audio down. For anybody listening in chat, is the mic levels okay? Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2. Ocean Chief here. Should be okay for now, and looks like everybody's in the pits, so the qualified session has concluded. Silver in last, so we have Terror Incognito in 1st position. Oh god, the pressure is on now for me not to not to cancel the game like I did last time. Let's not mention that here. As soon as the lights go green, I have to go back to the pits, and then we can get with the race action. That's probably for the best, considering drawing out my dull Irish tones. We're waiting here on board with myself as the lights come up. And a long pause here for lights, but 4, 5, 6 red lights, and they're off. And Here we go up ahead. Got Thimo's got a brilliant start. He takes position on Terror. And he's made it stick for now. And there's a Tipsy is off. Tipsy and Hugo are off track at the moment. And Curse 2 struggling. They're back there in 10th, 11th and 12th. But let's go up front. We have a battle forming right here. We're on board with Terror, but you can see that Bants all over his gearbox and Gloomy right behind. And Thimo leading the pack for now in the McLaren. And just experimenting a little bit with these camera angles, but stick. Oh, and Terror tries to move on the inside and makes it stick. If I could just work out these camera angles a bit better. But yes, Terror with a great move there on the hairpin. Send it up the inside and was able to make it stick. So Thimo now under pressure from Bants. Clara is right behind in 4th position. Falling off a little bit is Gloomy. And then we've got Triton. Oh, Triton involved in an incident there. Looked like he lost control of the car. Danny is up to 6th position. And who is that on track? It looks like Triton is slowing down significantly. Satoshi in the pits. Falling down the order. So we got Tipsy. He's crossing the start line, so he's a fair bit back already. And there's a change of position there as Silver looked like he ran across the tarmac. Gives the position back to Curse. And Triton takes position as well. But let's go up front again. Terror has got a gap of 0.9, 0.7. It keeps changing. 0.777. And that Bants is right behind. So it looks like we do have a race on today. We saw last week Terror and Thimo go at it for the majority of the race, but that Bants has obviously put the work in. He's able to stick with these front two for now. You can see the gap there forming to 4th. Or a little bit back, but hanging in there. He's got Gloomy on his gearbox, so we'll keep an eye on these intervals for these guys further on back down the field. It looks like Hugo was the biggest loser on the first lap. There's definitely some kind of connection issues going on here, as we're seeing Hugo's track moving very weirdly through the corners. Strange graphical glitch there, but yes, Hugo is traveling back there in 12th position. He's way off the pace already, but this is a long race. We've got 30 laps remaining, and Thimo is dropping off the back of Terror, and that's the line that Bants to close in. Right on board with that Bants at the minute. 2.3 is the gap. Oh, that Bants getting a little bit wide there, but nothing too major for now. You can see he is closing up a little bit on Thimo. The gap remains around over 1 second, but Terror is able to build that gap to Thimo to 2 seconds. That Bants is marginally faster than Thimo on that lap, and chipping away at that interval time. Let's see if there's any action further down the field here. TipsyBob looks like he's trying to he's in damage limitation mode here, but he is catching Triton. Previous lap there 125 with Tipsy, 121, 4 second gap difference. You can just see the mind that some of these drivers are struggling in these conditions. Satoshi with a nice lap there, 121.927. These intervals are opening up a little bit, but the closest battle on track right now is between Clara and Gloomy. As Clara just goes a little bit wide there. So freeway battle developing here. Oh, Lord. Backing off into the throttle altogether for the hairpin. And we have a driver off. It's Danny. Danny struggling a little bit in this sector 3. Lost the car there and puts it into the gravel. So despite being way down the order, Tipsy, we saw last time as well, if he just can be consistent and have good pace, he should be able to pick up a good few positions before the race end. As long as he's not involved in any incidents himself, it should be grand. And we've got a, let's see here, oh, it's Silver. Silver is slowed right down. It looked like he was considering going into the pits there. Thinks better off it for now. And Gloomy is hanging on to the back of Clara right now. The gap is under 2 seconds, actually 1.3 seconds there. It looks like he is gaining a little bit here. And that Bants keeping the gap to Thimo to around about 1.5 seconds. Terror in the 119s. Thimo and Bants on 120s. So a 3-second gap between P2 and P1. Gap 1.3 still. These guys are in similar pace, so it's going to be a long game. We can maintain the pace for the rest of this Grand Prix. We are going to see one pit stop, I believe, from most guys. And as I say that, Tipsy himself is in the pits. This must be for some form of damage he's picked up. Satoshi moving up into 8th position. Silver over PB of 124.6, so still struggling massively, but getting a little bit better there. Hugo now down 1 lap as he pulls up to the side. Is he just letting the leaders pass? Yeah, he is doing the gentlemanly thing. Good play from Hugo. But he finds himself 1 lap down, struggling quite a lot on this track is Hugo's. Kirst also finds himself 1 lap down and has already been passed by Thimo. That Bants is coming up behind him as well. We'll hope that he doesn't get impeded. Hello to Noel in chat. Thank you for joining us. You've missed the action so far. Thimo took the lead into turn 1. But since then it's all been about Terror on quickly took that position back and has built up a gap of 3.2 seconds to Thimo. And we're seeing that Bants falling back now as well. Must have been a mistake made somewhere on that lap. He was 1.3 behind, is now over 3 seconds behind. We saw a similar type of play during the last race in Australia. That Bants fell off the back of the front 2 guys. Terror and Thimo. Looks like Kirst, there's an issue there. Yes, Kirst has an off-track excursion. Now into last position and is into the pits. Must have damage. Tipsy falling back a few positions, but has pitted, so hopefully any issues he was having are now cleared up. Let's see what else we got going on here. We've got Danny Co 121.6, not bad pace. In front 3 are 120s and under. Let's see the closest battle on track. It looks like it's Danny, Gloomy, and Clara. Under 10 seconds between the three of them, and there's Kirst is out of the race. He has given up. It's very strange to see him give up. He usually continues on. I think the last race he was 8 laps down by the end. Obviously doesn't fancy continuing on with this race when he's already in last position, 1 lap down and struggling massively. And what I really want to know is, can that Bants just improve his pace a little bit, start chipping away at that gap to Thimo. I think we should ride on board with Bants. Yeah, it looks like that Bants is doing okay. He seems to have found his rhythm right now. He is falling off the back of Terra Incognita. It's up to 120. Thimo's 121. That Bants almost matching him. 1/10 slower. To the guys in chat, to end the dispute, we all know Kirst is a generational talent. He's very talented at spinning a car. I mean, let's face it, he has had plenty of practice. Tipsy gets himself up into 9th position, so as previously stated, you know, we're seeing Tipsy just putting in these consistent lap times, hopefully able to pick up a few positions before the race is over. And we're in lap 10. He crossed the line. Not bad pace from Tipsy, 121.6, so not that far off the kind of pace you're seeing from Thimo and that Bants. Terror is in the pits. Thimo takes the lead off the race. And what's Bants going to do? Bants continues on also, so we have a new leader of the Grand Prix, but Thimo and that Bants will have to pit. Where will Terror come out? Oh, that Bants almost losing the car there. Just saved it in the nick of time. Looks like Terror has come out slightly ahead of Clara, which will be music to his ears. Having that engine sound to his rear rather in front of him, and Clara going wide there and losing him some time. Gloomy is falling way back off Clara. Now 10 seconds behind. Thimo's doing okay out the front. He's got a gap of 4.4 to that Bants. That Bants staying out on these tires, and Thimo also sort of a bit of a strategy play here. Terror will be on these fresher tires, but you see Thimo with a 121.3, Bants with a 122.0. I wonder if these tires are starting to fall off a little bit. So they're setting a PB of 123.9 or 2. And all of these drivers are very competent drivers. This shows how much of a struggle it is to race in ASSETTO CORSA. And we have Cursed in chat confirming he cut the last chicane and got DQ'd for the mem. What is the mem? For the memory? Memories. Mimi. Okay, I get it. Mimi. Oh, who's that up ahead? Danny. No, it wasn't Danny, that was... Who was that? Someone's scribbling about. What's that? Hugo. Okay, yeah. So let's reassess this race. Thimo currently in the lead, crossing the start-finish line. Is yet to pit. That Bants is 8.2 seconds behind now, so Thimo has stretched his legs a little bit. But that Bants also yet to pit. Terror is actually closing in on that Bants. We may well see a pass on track from Terror on that Bants, depending on when the front two pit. Gloomy not doing too bad in 5th position. We've got Clara is 4th at the minute, and there's a car struggling on track. As Satoshi just managed to get out of the way there, thankfully. And Terror, I wonder if that is that Bants up ahead. I don't think it is. I think it's what is that? It could be Bants up ahead, so he may have visual of that Bants up ahead. Yes, I think it is indeed. Oh, actually, yeah, I think it is. Yep. It actually isn't. I'm very confused right now. The car ahead is Silver. There we go. Silver moving over nicely for Terror. They're on a charge here. Only 6 seconds behind that Bants and consistently putting in 120s, whereas that Bants and Thimo on 121s, 122s. TipsyBob has closed the gap on Triton. We may have a battle on our hands. I've seen Triton struggle a little bit here in this track. Tipsy is known for being consistent. He's closing down the gap on Triton right now. Triton's going to feel the heat. And that gap now down to under 0.5. And he passes with ease. It actually looked like, yeah, it looked like Triton moved over a little bit, made it easy for him. Also, he doesn't want to hold up. He doesn't feel confident he can stay ahead of Tipsy for now. So Triton up to 7th. Did I say Triton? Tipsy up to 7th. Yes, Curse, we've already established you are talented at spinning. I shouldn't really roast you too hard. I think you beat me in Spa today, so... Although, did I ever mention I beat Tiamark? Marmalade? Did I not? Anyway, I've got Triton in the pits. Tipsy steaming ahead here. His faster lap times. Here we go. The flex is cringe, but respect. If only I wasn't. if only I didn't get from wing damage from. I can't remember who did that to me. Oh yes, it was Cursed. So what do we got on track right now? Oh, Terror is right behind that Bants. Closing in. That's right on board with Terror. Terror seems to be the fastest guy in ASSETTO Corso at this time. DRS open as they head down a short straight into the left hairpin. Oh, Terror getting it all kinds of wrong there. Just got the front right onto the curb, and we saw him pay the price there. Nice save from Terror as he continues to be held up here by the Bants. Well, not really held up as such, but the dirty air may be a factor. Yeah, Kurt, you should be aware that I am going to report you, and I'm on the FIA board. Burn him! You're going down, son. Respect your elders. I told you the other night. Respect your elders. He gets on board right here with Terror. With his fast chicane. Bants is getting a little bit too much curb there on the right hand side, but able to maintain control of the car for now. Terror's got this DRS open, thinks about going wide here, thinks about the switcheroo. Bants is a very experienced driver, we've seen him. Very good. Oh. Might have been a little bit of contact there, but nothing much ado. And Bants pulls into the pits. Thimo as well is in the pits, so Thimo and Bants both in the pits on the same lap. Terror takes back what is rightfully his, the lead of this race, and will have a considerable lead by the time Thimo and that Bants come out of the pits. And I think we've yet to see Clara pit. Clara moving himself up into third, but I think he has not yet pitted. So Thimo and that Bants both behind Clara, and this may play into the hands of that Bants if Thimo is slowed down by Clara. That's six second gap. Oh my God. Losing the will to speak. This 6 second gap may come down significantly, with Thimo already passes Clara, so any chance of him being held up by Clara is gone. And that Bants will have to do the same unless Clara, of course, decides to pit, which she will need to do before the end of this race. We are on lap 18. Satoshi also in the pits here. Is Clara going to pull off and pit himself? That Bants is closed up right behind him. Yes, Clara indeed goes into the pits, freeing up that Bants to fight for P2. Is he going to be able to close that gap down to Thimo? Will Thimo crack under the pressure? Looks like Terror has his race in the bag, but P2, there's only 4 seconds in it. I'm not sure if Gloomy himself has pitted yet. I suspect he has. And Clara coming out of the pits. Nice lap time from Gloomy there, a 120 flat, which is good pace indeed. If he can maintain that kind of pace, he may well be able to snatch P4 by the end of the race. Satoshi in another moment there. Yeah, and the guys at the back, I mean, pretty much most of these guys will be using this as practice now. The race is pretty much they're not going to get any decent kind of progress in the race. So if I was these guys, I would use this as practice. As we see Tipsy with a PB of 120.385, that's more like it. Let's see how far Danny Co is up. He's quite a bit up the road, is he? So Danny, yeah, he's up. I would say the gap between Tipsy and Danny is about 10-15 seconds possibly. Gloomy for another 120, and he is closing this gap down on Clara. The gap now 2.6, 2.5. Oh my word. Looky. That Bants has the gap now down to 1 second on Thimo. Thimo has made a mistake somewhere. Is Thimo starting to struggle? Lap 21. That Bants smells blood. Is he going to go in for the kill? And I think he is. Look at the lap time, 121.2 for Thimo, a 120.1 for Bants. This man is on fire. Figuratively speaking, because... And this is a... Yeah, I'm just thinking this is a home Grand Prix for Bants as well. P2 would sit nicely for him, I guess. Oh, and a 119.8 for Clara. So on fresh tires, Clara is turning up the heat himself, but he's quite... What is he? 27 seconds behind that Bants. But Clara is responding to this charge by Gloomy. He had to get down to 3 seconds, but now at 5 seconds. Bit of a mid-corner correction there from Gloomy. It cost him some time. And all cars but 5 have been lapped. There's a change of position. I missed it. Thimo has made a mistake. He is off track. This is in sector 3 now. And the roles have reversed. That Bants becomes the hunted. Thimo becomes the hunter. I wonder if Thimo has picked up damage. He's very slow for that final corner. I think that's... Is that Tipsy on his rear end? It is indeed. Thimo actually now holding up Tipsy with a lapped car. So in one lap we've seen a rule reversal as Thimo makes an error which has cost him quite a lot of time. He's now 6 seconds behind that Bants, who has suddenly come alive in this race. And Hugo is indeed dead. Hugo is in the pits out of the race with 2 RIPers, Cursed and Hugo's. And Danny Co is in the pits himself. He now takes charge of the coveted last position on track. It's quite the title to hold these days. So Danny is still in the pits, now 2 laps down. Okay, and Thimo does look to be struggling somewhat. 121.7 was his lap time. Okay, you should be co-commenting with me. Keep me right here. That would be fun. There's not much action on track right now, but Tipsy moves himself up into 6th position. Now, if we can work out, I wonder how far Tipsy is behind. Danny having a bit of a off-track excursion. Doing a cursed, the cursed black car. That Bants for 120, 1.5. Let's see what Thimo's 121.3, so able to shave off 0.2. And Satoshi taking that position back from TipsyBob. Let's ride on board with Tipsy. See how he's getting on in that cockpit. Here's the view from inside the car. A halo is blocking the vision somewhat, but gives you a good idea of what is like in that cockpit right now. Satoshi looks like he's found some pace. He's pulling out a little bit of a gap here to TipsyBob. Well, he did get it a little bit wrong there through the fast chicane. Terror stays in the lead of this Grand Prix. That Bants 23 seconds behind, and we see TipsyBob almost lose it there in sector 3. Thankfully kept the car on track. Good job from Tipsy. You can just see the car leaning into the corners. The G-forces in these sim cars is 0. But in real life, they're pretty sure they'd be quite extensive. Tipsy falling off the back of Satoshi, so back down into P7. This is the closest battle on track right now. Triton at the very back, he's struggling massively, goes into the wall. And that's just after that fast chicane. If he doesn't get in the way of anyone, that looks like that was, yeah, that was that Bants. So Thimo will be coming up on Triton. Let's get out of this view and see, yep. So Thimo and Triton are actually teammates, so hopefully Triton will get the call to move over. Thimo almost losing the back end of the car massively there for the hairpin. And Thimo being closed up by Satoshi, who suddenly has found a lot of pace in that whatever team he drives for car. I believe that's Nissan. And Satoshi actually fancies a move on Thimo. Maybe he's happy enough to stay behind Thimo and just keep up with him. Enjoy that slipstream. And Tipsy falling back ever further. actually about to lose sight of Satoshi on track. So he's got work to do. There's 6 laps left. There's still positions up for play. There is a car up ahead. Who is that? Oh, and that was not good at all. That was Triton. Yeah, Triton and Tipsy involved in an incident which caused TipsyBob to disconnect from the server. Triton also looks like he may well be... No, Triton remains on track. But we saw there TipsyBob was coming up on the back of Triton. It was a lapped car, so it wasn't even for position, and just looked like it was one of those situations where TipsyBob came up on Triton and Triton was caught unawares and tried to move out of the way. Okay, the accusations are flying in chat. Hugo saying Tipsy killed me in T1. Well, it looks like Tipsy got his just desserts because he just got taken out by Triton. So 9 cars will remain in this session. Thimo has still maintained the gap of around about 6-7 seconds. Yeah, there's not much happening on track right now. See this now, so we got Bloomy 10-11 seconds behind Clara, so it looks like Clara's P4 sewn up for now. There's still 5 laps to go, so anything can happen as we see with TipsyBob and Triton. But look at this now, so yeah, Thimo, the gap to Terra is 31, but the gap to that Bants is 24 on 31, so about 7 seconds. So these guys putting in fairly similar lap times there. 121.137 is the last lap time for that Bants. At 121 point, or sorry, 120. Yeah, well, let's see the cross line there. 121.7, and we'll see what Thimo has this lap. 121.6, so marginally faster, but looks like Bants is just doing enough to keep this gap extensive enough for him to stretch his legs a little bit. 4 laps remaining, and we've got Terror out in front showing them how it's done. 25-second lead. There's a bit of a commotion up ahead. I believe that was Thimo. Was that Thimo or Triton? It was Triton, yeah. Triton just moving out of the way for Terror, thankfully. Triton really slowing the car right down for that final corner. And I'm just hearing in chat from Hugo that Bants has a battery issue. Oh, and Triton off track again to some T2. Struggling massively here. This could impede. No, it's not going to impede. That Bants is just on the start finish straight, so we'll just keep an eye on that because you might see in the background there. Now, that Bants is coming up on Triton. He is struggling big time, and we've got Cursed in the pit. Okay. Is Kurt's gonna perform a Lazarus type situation? There's definitely a guy in the car. It'll be interesting to see Kurt come back and finish P10 in the points, having already died. Thimo is falling way back on that Bants. 20 seconds back, and indeed we've got Clara right up his chuff. That's right on board with Clara. Oh, and Thimo is struggling big time. He must have picked up damage there. And Clara smells blood all over the gearbox of Thimo. Will Thimo pit or continue? Only 2 laps remaining here, so he continues. Clara is on his back. He's in his slipstream. DRS is open for both drivers. Clara choosing to go around the outside. Thimo has the inside line and already has taken position. So who would have thought it? Clara in third. Thimo struggling in the latter part of this race. And Clara already got a gap there of 1 second. I wonder if Thimo is under threat from Gloomy. He's only 11 seconds back, but if Thimo has an issue with the car, this may well spell disaster for him. Looks like Thimo and Clara are coming up on the back of Triton. Oh, and Thimo span again, just after the hairpin. When I say again, I assume he's already spanned previously, but it's Gloomy. He's coming in on him. Fourth position is in danger. Thimo is falling apart in this race. And he pulls off to the side. He must have damage. Gloomy now in P4. So who would have thought it? The last 2 laps of this race, Thimo struggling massively. You can see their last lap time of 1:37.6. I don't think he is under any threat from Satoshi, but yeah, Satoshi is way behind Thimo. So Thimo, damage limitation, P5 looks like it's okay, it's in the bag, as long as he's able to get that car across the finish line. That's right on board with Terror as he begins his final lap of the Grand Prix. And it's been another masterclass from him. It makes it 2 wins from 2 races, and I hope I'm not speaking too early now. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but I have faith that Terror is not going to make a mistake on this last lap and cost himself the win of the race. Although it would be good to see the Spanish, that Bants, win in his home Grand Prix, but that'll have to wait for another day. Right on the left hand side of the track is getting a little bit in the way of Terror, but nothing too significant, nothing to write home about. Oh, and Gloomy has been in past position. Thimo's actually got past Gloomy, so Gloomy has himself had an issue, but let's go back to Terror right now. We've got Terror in sector 3. Just two more corners to navigate, and the win is his. The Spanish King today is Terror Incognito. Vamos, vamos! And P2 for the majority of the race was Thimo, but let's not forget the latter part of the race. that Bants was able to pass Thimo and get himself up into P2, and has just silently been chipping away at the lap times there, putting in consistent lap after lap, and he himself gets him a nice P2 and a handful of points to go with it. Spanish driver must be very happy to have picked up P2 in his home Grand Prix. Clara Clara trying to finish in style. What a finish from the man himself. Clara did not take part in last week's race, I don't think, but makes his debut race here, and I'm guessing that was, I don't know what that was. Thimo P4, so able to bring back one position there before the end of the race after a disastrous last 2 laps. Its destruction derby mode has been activated. And donut mode has been activated for this Spanish king. But there can only be one. There can only Jesus. There can be only one. Yep. Whoa. That was like the donut of destruction. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. And I think if I was to call driver of the day, it would be a toss-up between that Bants and Terror, and I'm inclined to give it that Bants today. That was quite a performance from him. Just kept nailing those lap times, those low 120 and 121s, and it was enough to get him P2 and P3 Clara. So I think that about suits up the race for now. We will be back again in 2 weeks for another race in the ASSETTO CORSA 2 SRL series. Thank you very much for joining me, and good night.